So we're here in Spain at Rocco's Ranch for the 2024 Kawasaki 450 launch. This bike is absolutely awesome. I've already been out on the track today. Well, obviously already been out this morning. I go out again after lunch. So first impressions of the bike, so rideable, easy to ride. The development team have done an awesome job. This bike has been totally overhauled. Realistically, what you want to know is that does this bike cater for, for a wide range of people? It seems like Kawasaki have focused hard to try and get that range, so a pro would like it to, let's say, for example, an intermediate rider. Personally, I feel like they've achieved that. You've got a mapping now, which is, was it Rideology? So Kawasaki app, Rideology gives you loads of scope to change this bike and to change the fuel injection. For me personally, I've seen this in the past. Yes, you do try and change the settings, but if we're being honest, most people struggle with just the lights, dealing with the lights. But what I can confirm, if you do just press, if you do press the mapping and the light comes on, it comes on blue. If you press it for traction control, you get a second light which comes on as well. The first map restricts the bike. You could say it feels a little bit strangled at the top end, but actually the mapping really helped the rideability around the track. For me, that was quite a positive thing, because I feel like if you do struggle with a 450 and you do want to suppress the power a little bit, it's just there at a press of a button. That's quite a big thing. For me, I found that the suspension I thought maybe the suspension was a little bit soft, obviously being a little bit heavier these days, but actually when you're riding it, it's not soft at all. It feels good, it comes into the turns. As the track's been developing, you can really maneuver around the track. If you want a big sweep turn, it holds up. If you want to come in tight, that the suspension will dip. So, all right, massive kudos for that, because I always find that the suspension on most of the modern bikes these days is always a little bit firm up on the top part of the stroke, whereas this was actually quite nice and plush. The tech that's gone into this, or the technology that's gone into this for, like I said, a wide range of riders, that's what's key to this bike, I believe. You can move the foot pegs, you've got adjustability in the foot pegs, adjustability in the handlebars, also as well with the Rideology app. It's catering for a wide range of riders. That's what I think is quite appealing about the new Kawasaki 450. And it's one of the things that I think makes it quite unique and what most people will buy into. Yes, we can talk about the mass centralisation, and the frame, the flex in the frame, but realistically, all we really want to know is this a bike that you can ride comfortably? I believe that the way that it's designed and shaped, it's one of those bikes now that you can ride. So most 450s are known to be, real aggressive, a little bit harder to ride. But actually, I feel like this bike you can ride and you can race. I mean, we've seen Roman Federer on this bike since Hawkstone. And if you watch the way that he manoeuvres onto the bike and is quite aggressive with it, I would say that this in standard form has basically encouraged, you know, that style. I mean, obviously Roman's an awesome rider and he's fast and his bike's going to be faster than this one, no question. But what I'm trying to say is the base now to start from that Kawasaki have produced in a production bike is absolutely awesome. So conclusion of the 2024 KX450, awesome bike to ride. One of the things that I found about the bike, which every kind of journalist echoed throughout the day, was how rideable and how easy the bike was to ride. Easy to manoeuvre, the connection of rider to machine as well was good. You could move around on the bike a lot and you could move the bike around a lot on the track. So for me that was very positive because no matter what level, everybody seemed quite positive with the bike. Personally myself, I found that the suspension, I didn't change it. I mean, I should have obviously made it stiffer, but it actually felt really good, and that's a positive thing, because normally you get on a 450 and you feel like the front forks maybe a little bit too hard and rigid, and they were plush. The full suspension felt plush but not soft, so it's obviously progressed. It's got a nice progression to it. Power wise, the amount of work that's been done on this 450 is insane. So it's the alignment from the intake, or should I say from the air box. It's got a new filter box, and a new filter, easy removable new filter. So the alignment from the intake to the exhaust, to the exhaust ports, to the exhaust and out, it's all aligned. So that's to help the power. Okay, so the power from this model to the previous model, it's better. The torque curve's stretched. So when people say maybe it's a little bit soft, the bike, it's because it's more torquey, so it's more rideable. But the bike actually revs on more than the old model as well. There's a lot of different things in there, which it's quite interesting, because normally what I found when I rode factory bikes is that, yes, they're faster, but it's like an upgrade. So even though they're faster, they're easier to ride, some of them, and quite smooth, and you can ride them for a long period of time. That was kind of what I felt on the 450. It felt easy to ride, but by no means was it slow. It's definitely got more over rev. It's definitely got a good response. The amount of adjustability that you've got with the fuel injection is incredible. So you can really fine tune the bike. Not that you'd probably want to, if I'm honest, because I rode it most of the day in standard form. I did try the mapping. I tried the traction control as well. The mapping definitely tamed the bike down even more. So if you are that intermediate rider that's looking and thinks that a 450 is too fast, and you ride the Kawasaki and you're like, Dave, what are you talking about? It's a 450, it's still rapid. You can press the button and it definitely does restrict the bike. So for all in all, that's the thing that I liked, and maybe what I mentioned earlier as well was, there's no stone being unturned with this bike. It really feels like Kawasaki have spent a lot of time with attention to detail for what a rider wants and the feedback. So, and that seems to be that, whether you've got the adjustability of the bike to make it more personalised to you, and also that you can ride the bike harder and faster on track. So there's a lot of spec there that basically suggests that, from rider's feel to bike to the connection to the track, that they really wanted to nail that. And I've got to say that after riding the bike today, they've done a good job. You get a lot of feel from the circuit with the bike, and that I don't mean as in like bumps and negative feel. It's a placement feel that that you can do what you'd like to do with the bike. So yeah, the Kawasaki 450, the new one, it's nice to ride a 450 that you can actually, you know, push on. So well done. Yeah, it's definitely ticked the box.